Shit 90 Shows Taught Me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jess, I'm doing really good. My one issue is that I threw a garage sale quite recently. And I had like a couple of like occult things, you know?
You sold them together?
I sold them together. And the thing is that I was just trying to get the coin. But
as any person should in this day and age.
I learned from Anya that it's all about the money, all about the money, honey, I think is what it was. And I sold them together. I don't know why I had them, to be honest with you.
Because I feel like you just keep things, you know, especially superstitious things.
Yeah,
you can't just throw them away. So you just keep them.
I am a bit superstitious. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to step back from that life because there's just been times where it's really
like the sock situation.
Oh, have we told the sock situation?
I know about the sock situation, so we definitely have talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, if you don't know it, basically I had a pair of, you know, like normal people have good luck socks. I had a pair of bad luck socks. And whenever I wore this pair of socks, something bad would happen.
Yeah.
So I became afraid of them. And I didn't want to throw them out because I didn't want to disrespect the socks. That was the thing. Like, so I didn't want to like taunt them because I didn't want or like upset the socks, but like I wouldn't wear them, but I wouldn't throw them out. It was really eventually they must have gone thrown out because I no longer own the bad luck socks and I don't exactly remember what happened if I like finally got the guts to throw them out in one of the moves that I had, or if they got lost, or like the universe of evil absorb them back into like its dirty underbelly and
into hell.
And then they said you've had enough bad luck and we're gonna take these back. But I don't know what happened to them, but I don't own them anymore, thankfully. But they were ruling my life for a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's some bad luck to be had this episode of Buffy, season 5, episode 8, Shadow. Where do you want to start? Because we have stuff going on with Glory, whose name we now learn, Glorificus, the Great Glory. That's what you mean?
I didn't catch the Glorificus.
I only noticed it because I had captions on. The guy who is obsessed with her, the creepy guy who's obsessed with her, calls her Glorificus.
Why would you not be obsessed with her?
Oh, I understand his obsession.
Yeah. Oh, your awfulness. She
could pull out my tongue if she wants, please.
Oh my goodness. Let's keep our tongues in our mouths.
Yeah.
I guess we start with her, right? You said it first, so obviously it was top of mind for you.
Yeah, let's talk about her.
Yeah, we didn't get her last episode, so we missed her. She is bonkers like normal, and I mean, like, she's so cool. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just think that it's the type of villain that we've been waiting for, like someone who is like young and hot and cool and evil and likes to be evil and unhinged. Like, I really think that she's everything that we could have asked for in a compelling villain, and I'm really excited about her. I mean, nobody is going to top Daddy Vamps, but like in a way, Daddy Vamps is not even a villain. Like, it is almost like an insult to call him a villain.
He cares about the children
because all he does is want to be a good father, and
he really
Buffy just sometimes gets in the way of that. Yes. And he was trapped down there for a really long time, and he wanted to
60 score. A long time. 3 score? How many scores?
I don't know.
It was a long time.
It was a lot of scores. So many scores that we can't possibly remember how many scores. So like he just wanted to go up. Like maybe he wanted to get some McDonald's. You know,
and lest we forget, Angel insulted his face. Like, I'll never forget.
Oh my God.
That.
He was probably holding a grudge. To be honest with you, the fact that Angel stole Darla Darla from him. Like, no wonder he hated Angel. I would too. And he made fun of his face, which is not his fault. You know, sometimes some of us are just born ugly. Okay.
Respect your elders, Angel.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Glory, can I tell you, Glory was giving, I don't know if it was the room or the trying on the shoes or like generally just her attitude and her personality.
Mhm.
She's giving a little bit of like Cher Horowitz, like
Yes.
Elle Woods,
Yes.
like a little bit of like spunky, high energy, fashionable girl. And I really love that. I feel like she just has this really fun energy. I think the show learned a really good lesson with the character at like Faith, which is it's fun to have a character that can banter back and forth with Buffy and not just have Buffy be the only one like shit talking as they fight. And I really love that Glory brings that to the table. In this episode, she needs information. She needs this incantation from this guy who's obsessed with her. And she gets the information, finds out that it's basically a dark incantation that has been lost for eons. And she decides she's going to transmogrifize a cobra.
What?
I don't know. It's a word they use. It's transmography.
Transmogrify. I feel like transform is the word that we just want to reach towards, but it's kind of like how in Wicked everything is like they're, you know, they could just say good, but instead like the goodliest, you know what I mean? Like everybody in Oz
adding stuff.
You're just adding shit. So okay, so they transformed a what?
A cobra snake.
A cobra into a giant ass basilisk.
Right. It was, basically, she says, I'm going to make you a star. And the whole point is, she says to see what is unseen, see or find what is shrouded in shadow, which I have thoughts on as the title of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so she is basically like, okay, giant snaky poo, go find the key. I want my key. Go fucking find it, bitch.
Yeah.
She sends little sneaky boy off.
I mean, as I'm a snake lover,
You do famously love a snake.
I love snakes. I don't think that snakes are evil. I think that snakes have a really bad rap
from the Bible
ever since the beginning of time, essentially. And once again, the snake tricked Eve, but also maybe Eve shouldn't have been like a dumb bitch, you know? Like there was one rule, don't eat the apple. The snake was like, hey.
Maybe Eve should have stopped being a greedy bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, but here, can I defend Eve for just a second? As we are in fall in the Northeast, I will say apples are so delicious.
I know.
I really can't blame Eve for being, and especially if it was like a Honeycrisp. How are you going to resist?
No, it's a Red Delicious. We both know it.
Oh no! Okay, so then
bitch. Yeah,
I put it on fire. I don't want.
I don't
want
was
that.
It? Nonsense. I don't think it was all apples. I think it was one particular tree. I think there was probably other. I'm not a Bibletician.
But what if this was the only Honeycrisp apple? And she was like,
it was. We know. Okay, what kind of apple did Eve eat? Yeah.
Google it. What did she eat?
The type of fruit Eve ate is never identified as an apple in the Bible. And that's interesting. I think.
Well, they can't get them. We need the pertinent information.
Oh, it could have been a pomegranate. No.
A pomegranate?
Well,
Since when?
Pomegranates are like basically.
Can you bite into a pomegranate? I thought you had to shoot the seeds out.
No. I think. You know, I think that they might have like modernized it and
to pomegranates. It was because the girlies love pomegranate juice.
No, no, it just was called a fruit on the tree.
Oh, it was never indicated that it was an apple.
It's an apple. So I think that they were just like the forbidden fruit, right? So I think that they were just like, you know what, we will just call it an apple because. You know, the stupids know what apples are. So
apple. I mean, A for apple, right? Like it's like the first thing you learn.
Yeah, right. So I think like that's what happened. I'm not quite sure. Once again, I'm not a Bibletician, but I have gone,
aka a Christian.
Hello, that comes from the Old Testament.
No, I know.
But anyway, I think it was definitely a Red Delicious apple because once again, dumb bitch. Oh, long story short, snakes are not our problem. You know what I mean?
We invaded their homes is the thing.
Yeah.
Like from everything I've ever heard about snakes, like, leave them alone and they
Mhm.
will leave you alone. Like,
Yeah, or
don't
you
fuck
could
with a
just be
snake.
sitting on the edge of the water, and all of a sudden, a snake comes up and bites the sexiest man that's ever been on television when he was just minding his
Mm,
own damn
I
business.
think the snake was like, "What is that on his nipple? Oh my gosh, what I have to get more
This is
information."
a Survivor reference.
Yes. So
Yeah, I forget it. Okay, whatever. So the snake is like, I have a job to do. My
yes,
job is to find
key.
the key. And I think like the snake did a pretty good job. You know, he had a job, he had a task.
I have a question though,
What's that?
because we see the snake, right? Like this cobra guy. He's like he's running around, he's slithering, whatever, here and there, everywhere.
Slither, slither.
He ends up. He does go to like the merry-go-round where we see Dawn and Riley earlier, but before that, he goes to a church, and I was like, "Have we seen Dawn at a church?" I don't think so. Like maybe we just missed that scene, but I was like, "That's interesting." I don't know if that means anything because I feel like there are times where like everything in the show means something.
Hmm.
So I don't. I'm just pointing that out that like I feel like he went to a church first, which I really didn't understand.
Well, he had to go find his roots once again. He
He's
said,
like,
he's like,
"Gotta go
who
find
am
that
I?
dumb bitch Eve."
Yeah. Who am I? What's my background?
Mhm.
Where are my ancestors from? He
Yeah.
says, I can find it. It's chapter 1 in the Bible. And that's all he wanted to do was learn his past.
Yeah.
That was sometimes when you do work like 8 hours a day, sometimes you need a little me time.
And
And
his is at the church?
that was his lunch break.
Oh, I see. Yeah. He had some confessions.
It's
Um,
hi, my name is Snake. I'm here to
"Hi,
kill.
Snake."
Hi, Snake. I'm here to kill. My
Yeah.
master, Glory, told me that it's time to kill the key, find the key, kill the key. I'm a little morally divided about it, but I'm gonna do my job. And then
Yeah.
he says, go forth, do like 7.5 confessions and Hail Marys and like have a good day.
Yeah, give a couple Our Fathers in there.
Yeah.
So the other thing I love about Glory is that she is such a little shit. Like she is like, I need these specific items to do this sort of transmography situation. I know exactly where to buy them. I'm gonna go to the store that Buffy's watcher slash dad owns, and I'm just gonna taunt these fuckers. I'm gonna taunt them.
I think that's so fun because nobody, especially people that are not, I think she got lucky that Buffy wasn't there. But if Buffy was
Yeah.
there, then I think that she probably would have been happy to start some shit out of nowhere. But
Yeah.
she's basically hiding in plain sight, which good for her. She's able to walk right in. Nobody is expecting her. She looks human. Like, I don't even know if we completely understand what she is. I know that
We
there
don't.
was some debate if she really was a demon. It seems like she's the more accurate word is like one that cannot be described or
Named, I think.
named or something like that. So she can just walk right in, and she does, and she finds the ingredients. Maybe there should be some like regulations. You know how like at the grocery store you scan like a bottle of wine and it's like it stops you and it says, hey, like, is this person 21? Like, maybe we need something like in the coding of the register. If you scan 2 items that could possibly create a huge ass monster and destroy the world in Buffy, maybe you should get like a little like alert on the cash register and be
Mhm.
like, you can't buy these 2 items at the same
Yeah,
time.
must be sold separately.
Must be sold separately. I feel like we could do a little
Batteries
bit
not
more.
included.
Maybe this is a little bit advanced for this technology, but it seems like Anya's the only one that understands
Yes.
this.
Anya
So,
deserves a raise. Anya
yeah,
truly deserves a raise. And I was offended on her behalf
yeah,
when they were trying to keep this information from Buffy. And they decided the way to do that was going to say that Anya was clumsy and dropped something and broke it. Girl is employee of the month. And
yeah.
so I do not appreciate the tarnishing of her reputation.
I've
in this
never
way.
seen her drop anything.
No, she can't. She doesn't. She has whatever the opposite of butterfingers are. Sticky fingers? No, she doesn't steal.
Oh,
Anyway,
no. She could steal.
she could steal, but she
Everybody
doesn't.
steals a
She's a
little
good
bit.
employee.
Yeah.
So they, speaking of the Scoobies, they're all researching Glory because they need to figure out who she is, what she is, like where she's from, and they're coming up with no information. And Tara basically says, what if she's like so old that she predates language? That's why she's not in any of these books. This is when Glory comes in, buys the things, and leaves. And it is Anya later, as we said, who discovers this whole situation when she's going through the receipts that she bought the two things together, and that it is basically like goes back to this whole occult and all that. In this conversation also, I love that Xander brings up bunny worshippers, and immediately Anya is like, thank you for that nightmare, because we know she thinks bunnies are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, bunnies could be terrifying. Yeah. That's a very
good.
cute callback. Stop down, and we gotta talk about Tara got a new hair color, and I am loving it. She looks so
Yes.
good.
It's like an auburny kind of caramely color, I would say. It's very fall, I think.
It's beautiful. I think like she looks so good at it, and Willow's hair is just getting uglier and uglier by the second.
Oh my god.
It
You're so
is.
rude about her hair. I
It's
don't mind it.
It was like looking good, and then she did something to it, and now it looks like shit. She looks like the freaking little like drummer boy. It's horrible. She needs to do something about it. It's like a real problem.
Mhm.
So yeah, I thought that all the Scooby scenes were really interesting. I really liked when Anya was like, "Hi," like, "Hello," waving the little ticket. Such a problem. And I thought that Tara's insight was really smart. And then they start to like Giles is kind of like, "Oh yeah, it was just like a girl, like a young girl, like blonde, curly hair," basically describing like exactly what Buffy described. And then he's like, "Oh shit, he
Mhm.
really shit the bed this episode. Like, what a fucking screw up."
Yeah, I mean, seriously though, like he really messed things up. He wasn't I think the thing is he was so distracted because they were
Yeah.
researching literally when
Yes.
she walks in, and he's
Yes.
treating her like any other customer.
Yeah.
He's not really paying attention to exactly what she's buying and what she looks like, right? Because she just looks like an innocent young woman. And so yeah, so they kind of put two and two together. And also I think something we can kind of talk about in the same conversation is the Riley situation, right? Because Xander comes in and we get like a continuation from last episode where Xander is talking about how they went the next morning to that mausoleum, the tomb where all those vampires were, and it was completely blown up. And Xander knows that it was Riley who blew it up. And he's like, what the heck? Like, why did he go in solo? Like, what's the situation here? And I really enjoyed, Sarah, that when Riley shows up later, because it feels like all episode, he's like, where's Buffy? Where's Buffy? Can't find Buffy. He's constantly looking for her. When he shows up later at the store looking for Buffy, and they say, oh, she left to go destroy the Cobra, he is like, oh, that's like, you let her go alone? And Giles says, oh, you don't really let Buffy do anything. She
Yeah.
just does it.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that Xander not only pointed out like the hypocrisy in Riley saying that, but also I feel like the way in which Xander approached it was very much like, bro, you okay? Like, are you doing
Yeah.
okay? Like I feel like he was very sensitive to the topic, generally speaking.
Xander being sensitive. I
Who
just
knew?
I just want you to like put that in stone and send it back to yourself
Listen,
a year
I'm
ago.
very pro Xander now.
Yeah. I think I really like Xander and Riley's friendship when we get to see it. I think that it's it's fun. I like how they're playful. I like that he's able to kind of check in on him. It feels like there's not a lot of people there's not a lot of people period to check in on Riley and how he's doing. So I think that like anybody would be really good. I mean, obviously we'll talk about Riley and like Buffy, that whole situation, but I don't know, we're kind of getting like dark Riley. Like Riley is continuing on his little downward spiral. Like I think that we are just like going down a path of either like no return, or like he's probably just gonna have a realization that like he can't just be here for Buffy and he needs to kind of like do his own thing for himself. But between like the blowing up of the mausoleum on his own and like going back to the bar and killing that rando vampire, but like also letting her like bite him. Like I think that we're getting kind of like a darker Riley, and like I think like any all-American boy / Captain America type character is going to have that like dark or that like departure from like the all-American boy storyline. I think like it
Yeah.
just makes sense. I will say like there was still a lot of moments that Riley had this episode where I was like, man, that's the Riley like I know and love. Like the way that he took care of um Dawn, and the fact that like Buffy, when he like went to go see Buffy after Spike antagonized him, like he wasn't um like aggressive or accusatory to her. He was like pretty sweet and calm, and like I that's some of the things I love about Riley, like how at times level-headed he is to Buffy with Buffy. Of course, like there's so much like left unsaid, which is a killer for relationships, but there's so much that I like about Riley. I just think that I think my guy just needs a purpose. That's it.
Yeah, it's interesting what's going on with Riley. Because I mean, I think we can even start or like go back to the interaction with Spike where he goes to Buffy's house having no clue that Buffy is with her mom at the hospital, having no idea that that's even a thing that's going on, right? So that's one thing, another thing to a laundry list of items that like he's been left out of the loop on. He finds Spike sniffing Buffy's sweater. Riley is like, what is going on here? Spike completely antagonizes. He pokes Riley, saying like, oh, you don't even know about Buffy's mom's CAT scan? Even I know, and I'm like her enemy. And basically being like, you are white bread. Sorry, Charlie, you're just not dark enough. Like, you're not her type. You're too all-American. You're too nice. You're too normal. Like, you're not it for Buffy. And I think like that really gets into Riley's head, right? Like it really upsets him. Obviously, he holds Spike out into the sun, like threatens him. I think all of that is very much playing in Riley's head throughout the rest of the episode. And you're right. I'm going to give Riley full credit here. When he goes to the hospital to see Buffy, he does not go there and say, why didn't you tell me this was happening? Why wasn't I included? No, he immediately goes there and is like, do you need anything? I'm here. Let me help you. Let me take care of Dawn for you. Like he's very much there for Buffy, and he does a really good job with Dawn, like one-on-one with her, trying to make her feel better about the whole situation. So I very much want to give Riley credit for those things, because I do think like he is being very kind and very supportive of Buffy. I think the problem is she's really not letting him in. Like she's completely putting up walls, putting up doors between them constantly, not cluing him into everything going on with her mom, not cluing him into what's going on with the Cobra monster. Obviously, part of that is because I feel like she is very much compartmentalizing her life at the moment. And she is like, okay, my mom is sick. I need to focus on that. Okay, now there's this Cobra monster. I need to focus on that. And because Riley is no longer Captain Riley, he's no longer like this, military man that she originally knew, because he doesn't have the powers he once did. I think she is too scared to include him and like worried he'll get hurt, or possibly even worse, she's just not thinking of him. She's just not even considering him as an option to help. And I do think all of that kind of stuff is what leads Riley to like going back to the bar, going into a room with that lady vampire. And I do think it's important to note, like, letting her, like, put her hands on him, letting her bite him before he kills her. Riley, Sarah, like, we've seen him take out a whole mausoleum of vampires with a grenade. He easily could have killed her prior to her putting her hands on him and biting him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Part of this feels like a little like self-harmy to me, like
Yeah,
a little
totally.
like, right, like self-destructive of like, because then we see the end of the episode. I don't know if you noticed this, Sarah, and if your attire is an homage to Riley. The turtleneck at the end of the episode that he was wearing truly did crack me up, because I'm like, boy is hiding that bite mark.
I wish that I was that intelligent. It's just that it finally is cold. So then my
Yeah.
collection of 95 turtlenecks have come out. to play. If you don't know, I between the months of like October and March, no neck of mine is to be shown. I am a big lover of a turtleneck, especially a black turtleneck. It's my favorite. I just feel like more myself. Although, like, my very good tits cannot be shown in a turtleneck, but that's besides the point. What was I going to say? I got distracted by my boobs. Yes,
Riley and the turtleneck. Yeah,
he's pretty hot. By the way, I think that he was so good looking this episode.
he's very tall, and I feel like I kind of forget how tall he is until he's like next to Spike or Buffy or someone, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like he's ginormo.
I would climb him like a tree. Yes,
Yeah.
and his hair looked darker this episode. I don't know
It
why.
did look I don't know if it was like gelled, and so
Yeah.
that like gave it like a darker cast.
But that made me like him even more because I do, contrary to popular belief, I'm not obsessed with blondes. I like brown hair. It's just that every single person I have a crush on these TV shows are blonde. I don't know what that is. Okay. I have a thought. Maybe he's doing all of these, I agree with you, self-harming. Maybe he's doing all these like bad things because he's like, I want to be bad for her. I want to be dark. Like, if that's what she likes, somebody who is like kind of like dark or a little bit bad or a little bit moody, kind of like Angel, like I want to emulate that. Like, but I totally agree with you. I think that I don't even think that Buffy is doing it intentionally. I just think that there's so much stuff going on. She can only focus on what's immediately in front of her. I don't think that she's thinking about Riley. It's not like I think that she chose to leave Riley out and Spike was antagonizing. It's not like really like all the Scoobies knew that her mom was trying to get like a CAT scan or something. I don't think. Maybe they did. I'm not quite sure. She just didn't like think to call him, which is once again, I understand. Like she has so much going on. Her mom is suffering. Now we learn it's brain cancer. Her sister, who's not really her sister, she has to take care of it. She has all these feelings like she's her sister, but she's really like a prop and she like a key. There's this giant snake monster. There's Glory. She just, there's no room in her life to nurture this relationship. It's not her fault, but also it's sad for Riley, who is in love with this woman and has nothing going on in his life but her. So it's really just a matter of like wrong place, wrong time, right? Like they always say like relationships are like 50% chemistry, 50% timing, you know, like I know you all think, some of you think that they don't have any chemistry. Like I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that chemistry looks different for different people. But I think that, like the timing's not great. If I was Buffy's friend, I'd be like, he's a great guy, but you have to let him go. You know, like you don't have enough space in your heart and in your mind to focus on a relationship, and he's obsessed with you and he is going to follow you until the end of the earth until you let him go. And you just can't. It's just like not fair. So if I was Buffy's friend, I would just be like, I know that you love him. Like, oh, I don't even know if you love him. I know that you really, really like him. And I know that like he's a great guy, but it's like you can't focus on a relationship right now. Like there's too much other stuff going on. Give yourself some space.
Yeah, I think a huge hurdle, a huge barrier for them is the fact that Buffy hasn't told him about the Dawn situation, because I think if she had, she could explain why she was like even more protective of Dawn than usual. She could explain her conflicting feelings towards Dawn as her sister, but not her sister. She could explain the importance of catching the Cobra monster before it gets back, or before it even finds Dawn, and then before it gets back to Glory. Like she can't, though. And I think because she can't explain any of those things, it's easier to just leave him out of all of this stuff because she would have too much to explain, right? So I think like part of it is that. And I think at the end of the day, if she can't trust him with that information, if she can't trust him with the Dawn stuff, then I feel like there's something telling about how she feels about the relationship in general.
I don't even think that's true because it's none of the Scoobies know. The only person that knows still is Giles. So I don't think it's a matter of trusting him. I just think that it's Buffy doing what Buffy does and is protecting information to protect those around her.
Mhm.
Or like keeping information close to her chest. So
Yeah. Cuz
she
she
told
does
everybody but Riley. She just hasn't
yeah.
told anybody.
And the thing is she does trust Riley to keep Dawn safe, right? Because she, at the end of the day, she says to him, like, can you take her to school? Like, I need to go take care of something. And then, I'll see her later. But she does trust Dawn in Riley's hands, right? Like, she wouldn't just let her sister go with anybody.
Mhm.
So that is important. I think she just doesn't see him the same way he sees her. And it's unfortunate because when he is there, right, when he shows up at the hospital, it does seem like she's happy to see him.
Yeah,
Like,
because he's
she's, like, happy to have the
comforting.
support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's comforting, like, she leans into him. It's literally like I mean, we called it last week. She does not think about him until he's literally right in front of her.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily blame her once again. It's just that, well, if Riley was my friend, I would say like, bro, like she just doesn't have the same capacity for a relationship right now as you.
Yeah.
And like I want you to get back in a relationship everything that you put out. And if like Riley's just not getting that. But at the same time, like he's getting easily antagonized. He is also like Dawn, there was the scene with Dawn and him at the carousel, and she was literally, I mean, like Dawn was like, you're so good for Buffy. She's like so much happier with you. And but like you don't affect her like he does. And I
Yeah. She
what she
doesn't get all
meant,
worked up like that over
yeah,
you is what
but
she says.
yeah, I mean, like he took it poorly or differently than I think that Dawn was saying,
Oh, certainly.
but the
She's
way that
thinking you're a stabilizing force, and
yeah,
he is taking it as she's not passionate about me,
yeah, yeah,
which is
which
sad,
is
like,
unfortunate
well,
because
especially at this age, right? I feel like you and I, as 30-something-year-old women, like, I would love I look in a partner, I look for someone who is stable, supportive, like,
mhm,
comforting.
yeah,
When you're in your early 20s, you're probably looking for something more like a Spike or an Angel, like, someone who
yeah,
is, like, exciting and, like, gets your heart racing, right? Like, I think it's a big thing is, like, the difference in, like, maturity level. But yeah, Riley certainly reads it one way, and Dawn intends for it to be like, "You're good for her, like, you're
yeah.
so stable, you're so comforting, you're
Because
really great for her."
I think Dawn like has like love for Riley like an older brother. Like I think that Dawn's gonna
Mhm.
be so sad when they don't work out. I remember when me and my ex broke up the first time, my sister cried, and like that is just like it's one of those things, like like
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like this person that like was around is no longer going to be there, and what does it mean? And I just think that that sort of thing is it's, like, really sweet. It's, like, a sweet dynamic to be, like, when your partner sees your sibling as their sibling, I think that it's, like, kind of sweet. So, like, I just I think that I think that he is just, like, really comparing himself constantly to Angel and her relationship with Angel and Angel himself, and I think that, like, Spike really, I mean, he does it so well. He really, really knows how to poke and prod and like light a fire under like your like biggest insecurities with a magnifying glass. And it's not great. And then like Dawn like saying that and him interpreting it a different way. It's just like really it's just like really bad. Like our days are numbered over here. So I really need to order that veil off of Amazon.com for my costume of the day when the relationship inevitably ends. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad because I honestly think like the thing is that I've always been a relationship girl. I've been looking for my husband literally since I was like 6 years old. So like when I see Riley, I'm like, that is marriage material. Like that is, aside from a couple of like little things, I'm like, he's marriage material, but Buffy doesn't need to get married right now, like at all. So wrong place, wrong time. Ugh, I
Yeah.
just love him though. He's so cute. I love his face. I think he's
Yeah.
really, really good looking. I'm very attracted to him. I just am. I'm just
It's okay.
sharing.
Listen, it's okay. I do want to like briefly touch on the Spike of it all.
Oh, he's such a brat, but he's fun.
He's very fun. This whole scene was I think it was intended to be really funny. Him like sniffing Buffy's sweater, him saying that like, oh, it's what I forget what like an animalistic sort of a predator. It is a predator thing to do. But then he's like sniffing it. Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah, he's a sick fuck.
It's very creepy, but I really loved him. And listen, I'm like, I thought Riley had some really great moments this episode, so I'm not trying to like shit on him.
No, I won't get upset.
It was very funny when Spike was like, oh, isn't it weird that she bought me drinks last night? Isn't it weird that like, hey, you know how many times Willow and Tara have been over to do spells to keep people out? Isn't it weird that I wasn't on that list? I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Yikes.
That's a good point. And Riley retorts of like, well, you are harmless. Like you can't, like you're a neutered puppy. You're like a cobra without their fangs. Like you're nothing. But still, like she says that he's so annoying all the time, but she doesn't keep him out. He can just walk right in. So
exactly.
I think that was like a funny thing for him to antagonize her about. And
I do think there are some like truthful elements to it.
I think so too.
I think him and Buffy, there is this like connection that her and Spike have. I know you hate him and like you hate the idea of them together.
No, like, I don't hate him.
I just think they have like this. They very much walk this like the whole wanting death and like searching, being surrounded by death. I really feel like they connect on that level.
Do you think that Buffy has any sort of interest or feelings towards Spike? Like obviously it's very clear that Spike has this like crush on Buffy, but I really don't think that we're there yet with Buffy. So like I think that any sort of chemistry that you're seeing is not like romantic at this point, at least from Buffy's side.
I think she has a chemistry and a banter with him. I don't think that she is at all thinking at this moment that she has any feelings towards him. But I do think she feels that they have a connection. I don't know that she is like interpreting that as like romantic, but I do think she feels like they have something in common. They're connected in a way. I don't know.
I think that Buffy's stubborn enough to be like, I have nothing in common with that man ever. Like I have no if she heard you say that, she was like, I have no clue what you are talking about.
I'm sure she would. Yeah. So okay, so that's enough of Spike because that's really the only scene he's in. Let's talk about everything going on with Joyce. Because we start the episode with her getting a CAT scan. And I mean, I try to like not pay attention to this stuff, but I was like, there is 0% chance they get all this information in like a single day, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to think about it too much. I feel like a lot of this sort of a thing is like a waiting game. Like
maybe, but like maybe it is like because of the concern it gets expedited. I don't know.
But either way, she gets a CAT scan. The doctor says there's a shadow on her brain, and so they have to do a biopsy. They end up doing the surgery, like they book her into an OR immediately. She gets diagnosed with cancer, a low-grade glioma. And this was interesting. Because the doctor speaks a bunch of like, medical gobbledygook to Buffy, which was fucking horrendous. And I was really happy to see Dr. Ben come in and be like, this guy needs to fucking move out of the way because he, like, I'm so sorry, but like, you don't tell someone their mother has a brain tumor in the same breath as you start asking about insurance information. It is just so insensitive. His bedside manner is non-existent. It's really, really bad. I also don't think, first of all, I feel like telling her before he's even told the patient herself is a fucking mistake, especially considering, like, it just feels like, no, you can say, she's recovering. We'll discuss everything once she's awake. Like, it just feels like a lot to just be telling Buffy right away.
I wonder if that was some sort of agreement, or like maybe Buffy is Joyce's health proxy at the moment, and that was like an arrangement they made beforehand, because coming out of the surgery, like it could have gone really sideways, like it's brain surgery, so she could have bled out or something and died right away. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Joyce made her like her medical proxy and was allowed to get information beforehand.
Could have been, but he basically is like, we need to decide if it's even operable. Even if it's not operable, she still has like a 1 in 3 chance. And like, this is all so much. Like, my question, Sarah, I want to know where you stand on, is this purely a medical thing? Is this purely she's unlucky and she got cancer? Or is there something magical, mystical, what have you, happening?
I think that like the cause of this brain tumor is connected with that moment where she sees like a flash of clarity with the Dawn situation. I think the ailment itself, the shadow, I think that it is this tumor. I do think that it's medical. I don't think it's like a magical tumor. I think that flash of clarity caused some sort of like brain aneurysm or medical condition, or sparked this tumor that grew. I think that like, does that make any sense? So like the tumor itself,
I fully agree with you. The tumor itself will need to be removed by medical means.
I think,
but
like,
the
cause of it, what has to do with that one moment that was with Dawn, like some sort of like,
yes,
or like maybe it's the opposite. Like maybe she has had that brain tumor before, and that made her not be fully able to get her memory completely altered by the monks, and due to that, like she was able to see the truth for a second, but then it also made the brain tumor like grow exponentially from there. You know what? Does that make sense?
I feel like we're on exactly the same page, because I felt like, right, this show is very intentional, we've been learning. And I'm trying not to like have the same Dawn situation happen where I am just like taking for granted that the show can do whatever it wants and I'll be on board. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that when Glory is giving this like Cobra monster its instructions, its marching orders, she says, "See what is unseen, find what is shrouded in shadow." And I was like, that's really interesting. Now we see the Cobra thing finds Dawn, like shrills, and then like jets, right? Like as if it's going back to Glory to give her that information. However, I think you're right that it's like in the formation of the key, which is Dawn, something wrong happened to Joyce. And I feel like that shadow is a result. Like, could part of the key have gotten into Joyce? And that's what that shadow is. Or, like you said, is it when they messed with her memories, right? We know memories form in the brain. So, like, could that be something? Especially because when this first made itself known, when it's first obvious that something has gone wrong with Joyce, she literally says like to Dawn, like, "Who are you?" And then she like passes out, right? Like she falls unconscious.
And that was the first sign that something was wrong with Joyce. It has something to do with like the memories getting altered, like, or the memories getting altered, like formed the tumor or something along those lines of like she either had it previously, the alterations like made it grow, or something. It's something along those lines. Like I think we're like right there. But it definitely has something to do with the Dawn situation. I think that whatever it was in that exact moment that it happened, that um or that like it
Yeah.
grew or something.
It feels like it has to be connected. And again, all of it could be a red herring. And I think what makes me think it potentially could be a red herring is when Buffy goes to the Scoobies and is like, let's do a spell. Let's like do something to help my mom. You know, he like Giles has to step in and essentially say, you know, unfortunately, like magic can't cure something like medical like that, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't know, like, and you could be right. It could be that the reason the tumor is there or the shadow is there, whatever, is because of what happened with the magical stuff. And now it's to a point where like, you know, medical intervention is necessary. Um, but I don't know. It was really hard. Like I don't know what I was thinking Joyce was going to end up, you know, having to deal with medically, but brain tumor, like, I don't know, wasn't
I
necessarily
think
on
I said
my. You probably did.
I think I said the exact thing. I'm not completely sure,
Yeah.
but
It's probably because I was like, please don't be that.
I know,
Please
I
don't, please don't
know,
be
I
that.
know, I know.
Uh,
I of course, like cancer is such like a sensitive subject, and I know that like you're sensitive to it. I know a lot of people are really sensitive to any sort of cancer
yeah.
diagnosis. It's extremely uncomfortable. Um, I was getting upset by not upset, but like it was really sad to see Joyce in the hospital and the girls in the hospital waiting for news from a doctor that was reminiscent of my childhood or like my teenagehood when my dad was sick. He was always in and out of the hospital. And I
Mhm.
remember a very particular memory of when he did pass, like very stereotypical in movies and TV shows. The doctor in the white coat comes out to talk to my mom and my uncle to give the news that he had passed. And it's whenever I see something like that, it's like you always think like, oh, like that sort of thing, like it's only in the movies, but like that I literally witnessed that sort of thing with my very own eyes. So
Mhm.
it's it's pretty fucked. I mean, like it's a little it's a lot, honestly. It's a lot. It's and
Yeah.
it's upsetting. And I really cannot see Joyce coming back from this. Like, can you? Like, do you think it's a 1 in 3 chance? Like, I
Yeah.
feel as though those odds are like, I mean, like it's a third. It's like 33%. Like maybe it is a good percentage, but like I would rather have the 66% than the 33%,
Well, and
certainly.
on top of that, he's not really saying I feel like there's a difference between surviving it and then like having a life after it, right? So like
Mhm.
maybe she lives, but like it's your brain. Like it's your brain, you know? Like your brain connects everything. I think that's why brain cancer is just like so especially heartbreaking is because it does like he was saying like it could even impact her speech, her
Oh yeah.
mobility, like all of those things. So um yeah, I think even if she lives it's bad, but I am trying not to think too meta about this, but we podcast about the show so your brain kind of goes there anyway. Um I think she probably is going to die, and I think it is going to be the first like massive loss that
Mhm.
Buffy suffers, and I think it is really going to hit home the concept of she can't save everyone. I think
Yeah.
we're starting up that theme right now with the like, you know, there's nothing you can do, which unfortunately is the case when family
Yep.
members get sick is there's not a ton you can do besides be there for support. And I think that's a lesson Buffy's going to have to learn, and I think we're going to end the season probably with Joyce dying.
Yeah.
And I think season 6 will focus a lot on Buffy's grief and kind of her coming to terms with the fact that she can't save everyone.
I
I
think
think
all
that could be a big
heroes
theme.
I think it's like very I think like a lot of heroes go through this. Of course, I'm thinking of like Spider-Man and his uncle and Batman and his parents, and like I feel like so many superheroes or heroes have to go through that great big loss. in order for them to be like fully formed. Even Dawson Leary, as I say, he too has suffered. He's a true American hero. I think that I just think like it just makes sense. I don't know if the actress herself like wanted out, or maybe they just felt like it was time. What I'm curious about is like, obviously this season is going to be the season of like Glory and the Key and Dawn, but like after this gets resolved, assuming like obviously Buffy's not going to die at the end of the season. We have like a few more seasons. So ultimately I assume that she's going to beat Glory somehow. Like, does Dawn stick around past the season? And like, is that the last piece of like her family? Her dad's apparently like fucking around with a secretary and like Monte Carlo. Like, we will probably never see Mr. Summers again. Like, does Dawn stick around, or like does, once Glory is beaten and the Key is no longer in jeopardy, is there a place for Dawn in this universe, or like does she like absorb back into nothingness? And that's another loss. And is she completely alone and isolated except for her Scoobies and Giles? Like, how I feel like, especially because the feelings that she's feeling towards Dawn are, they're pure. Like, she has love for Dawn because, but it's so interesting because she has these like feelings and memories that are not real, but the feeling is real. So she definitely has love for her. Like, I see her every single episode. Like, her and Dawn are like getting closer and closer, and she's becoming more like maternal and nurturing to her. It's just interesting. What do you think Dawn's place is going to be at the end of the season?
I think if everything goes like we think it will, and Joyce ends up dead by the end of the season, I don't think they will also take Dawn away. I think we will figure out a way for Dawn to remain and continue on the show. I don't, that would be so much to lose your mom and not your real sister, but in your memories, it is your sister. You have love for her. Like you said, like she is becoming very nurturing towards Dawn. She is very protective of Dawn, and it's not just because she's the Key. It's because she feels like she's her sister. I don't think they're going to also take Dawn. I will say I thought it was really interesting this episode that the way Buffy treated Dawn, where it is very much like she doesn't really want to tell Dawn what's going on. Like, she's prolonging it, right? She says to Giles and them, she doesn't know like what the prognosis is. Please don't tell her. I feel like, yes, part of her was like compartmentalizing and wanting to go try to find a magic route to save her mom. But I think also part of her is like, I can't be around Dawn right now because then I'd have to say something, or she's probably going to ask questions and questions I don't want to answer right now. I felt really bad for Dawn, and I don't know if part of this is like the younger sibling connection there, but I know Dawn is young, as compared to Buffy, right? Like, she's like, what, 14, 15 compared to Buffy, who is closer to 19
or 20,
or 20.
I don't know.
I felt really bad for Dawn, because I know a lot of people when talking about like, oh, we wanted our kid to have a sibling and blah, 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 right? Like, I think part of it is knowing that your kid will have someone to lean on, and someone to go through tough things with, right? Like, they're not alone. And I know Dawn is very young and Buffy is trying to protect her, and this is just like the way Buffy's mind works. But I really wished that like she was able to talk to Dawn about things, and Dawn does find out from Joyce at the end of the episode, so we do see that. But I felt bad because I wish Buffy was able to kind of talk to Dawn about it rather than try to hide the information from Dawn, especially because Dawn is perceptive. She picks up on it. She knows there's something going on. Like, she's not an idiot. She's aware. So I feel like it only hurts Dawn to then try to hide it when she knows something's going on. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
almost feel left out in a way. Like you feel like you're being babied. And
Yeah.
I know she's young. So it's a tough call. Like I'm not blaming Buffy. I just can understand like both sides of like, yeah, you want to protect her, but also like Dawn is going to feel like shit, as a result. So I don't know. It was interesting.
I'm curious if like Buffy was like, I rather this come from mom herself. And
Because she is the one, right? Joyce is the one who tells her. So
yeah, like I do agree with you. Like I think that Buffy's intentions were, I need to protect my sister. She's too young. It's too sensitive of information. Um, and like, yeah, like baby her. However, all of that can be true. And I also think that Joyce should have been the one to share it with Dawn.
I wish
Rather
Joyce
than
was the one that shared
Buffy.
it with Buffy. Like rather than the fucking doctor, like, or at
Well, I
least at
mean,
the same time Joyce finds out,
logistically, I think like, yeah, I mean, like I think
You're
that
probably right. It's just
I think that also Joyce, I think that Buffy probably learned a little bit from Joyce about how to pick and choose information to share in order to protect your
Mhm.
loved ones. And I'm glad that Buffy has the complete picture rather than whatever filtered version she was going to give Buffy. Um,
Yeah, it's true. It's
so
true.
I don't know. Like I think that it's like a really tough thing. Like once again, I'm trying to recall like what my parents told me when they told me that my dad was sick. I remember exactly like where I was. We had literally just moved into a new house a couple of days prior. And I remember my parents telling me that my dad was sick. And, you know, I was how old was I? Probably I was like 12, maybe 11,
Mhm.
12, and I don't exactly remember what they said, but it was probably some like muted, watered down version of like what was actually happening. And my dad was sick for 7 years. He was on dialysis for 7 years. That's a very long time for dialysis. And it wasn't until towards the end, um, and I was like 18 at the time, where I was getting like pretty like realistic expectations from my father. And even when he died, I was like, I knew it was gonna happen. I just didn't think it was gonna be like then, you know? So I think like it's a really hard thing for a parent to articulate to to their child about what's happening. And my sister was even younger than me. She was 6. So like what, how can they explain that to a 6-year-old, you know?
Mhm.
So I think like I mean, I'm hopeful that like I'm never going to have to experience that as a parent, but um I can just like imagine how hard it is to thread the needle between being honest and realistic and being as a parent or as a person being scared yourself about your spouse or your own health. So
Mhm.
being threading the needle for yourself of being hopeful, but also, being realistic. And I just think it's a difficult thing. And I think that it I personally am glad that Joyce was the one to share the information with Dawn. And I think that Dawn maybe like in the moment wish that she knew sooner from Buffy, but I think like reflecting back onto it, I think that she will be grateful it did come from her mom and not from her sister.
And at the very least she was told, right? Like they didn't
Yeah,
play the game of let's not tell Dawn at all.
yeah,
That would
totally.
be really bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I'm sure that
So
happens too. A lot of families,
yeah.
I think, do decide that, which is like not probably the greatest move. And like Dawn's young, but she's not, once again, like 6 years old. Like she's 14, 15.
Yeah.
Like she's old enough to like hold on to that. And I think that if they didn't tell her, that would be like ultimate babying.
Yeah.
But I think that they did as good as they can in a really difficult situation.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um Okay, before we get into Cordy's corner, because I do have some information for you
Oh.
on the Shroud of Ramen. Um, We did get a 5-star review that I wanted to read on the podcast.
What?
I know. It's been a minute.
So our bitching and whining and crying worked. Okay.
It worked.
Okay.
Listen, squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever.
I guess.
So from Cologne Perfume, love this podcast. I know you said you like the show Greek, the most underrated show ever.
Yes, I know.
And I think it would be a great show to cover. Also, Ever would be really great for you guys to dig into as well.
Ever
Keep
would
it up. Love listening every week.
Okay, Cologne Perfume, number 1. Greek is literally my favorite show. It's not even a guilty pleasure show. It's just my favorite show. It means everything to me. I love Greek, and I love that you love Greek, because there are people that love Greek out there, and it's actually a good show. Jessica, you gotta finish it one day.
I know. I will. I will one day.
You won't. It's fine. And then in terms of Everwood, my husband covers Everwood with our good friends, librarian Todd the librarian, and TV Lindy. So if you want, you can go to One Indescribable Podcast and listen to them. I've been on the podcast, and so has Jess.
Yeah.
So I like Everwood. I think that there's some times where they take on like really big topics, and they're just like, this week we're going to talk about if abortion is okay or not. And then I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. Like,
yeah. And they're handling it in like early aughts, which is uncomfortable.
And it's like, this week we're going to talk about like gang rape and teenagers. I'm like, oh geez. Okay. So it's like, what kind of like big topics of debate or like and then the whole town gets involved. I'm just like, okay, like I get it. Like I know it's a thing. Jess and I have been toying at shit the aught shows taught me for a really long time. What did we used to call it?
I don't remember what the naughty oddies. I don't know.
No, we did not call it that.
No, we didn't call it that. I don't know what we called it.
Shows
but yeah,
awesome? I don't know.
Go check out Whirlwind Podcasts is where you can find the Everwood podcasts if you want to listen. I listen every week, and I've been enjoying rewatching with the podcast because I've seen the show before, but I've really enjoyed rewatching it. So yeah, thank you so much for your 5-star review. Also, that was so lovely to read. And if you want to send in a 5-star review like Cologne Perfume, please do so because we will read it on the podcast.
SAS TM. That's what I used to call it.
That's
SAS TM.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot it too. So shit, y'all shows taught me, but SAS TM.
SAS TM. Perfect. Okay, are you ready to get into Cordy's Corner?
Yeah, I truly did not watch it this week, but
no, you're fine because I've got the deets. I've got the info.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so number 1, someone got a new haircut.
What? This is critical information.
Yes.
No! No!
If you're watching us on YouTube, I have posted a photo of Cordelia's haircut. Sarah, would you like to describe this for me? I'm very apologetic that I could not get a better clip of it. This show, like Angel, is very dark, and it is very hard to capture anything in a good light. But please describe Cordelia's haircut.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. Why, God, why? It's short. It's like
shoulder length.
It's like a lob. She has bangs.
The bangs are a
they're
choice.
Wispy.
The first time they showed it on the episode, I literally thought it was a wig. This is not the first time it's shown on the episode, but the first time they showed it, I was like, what is happening? Is this a wig? Like, what is going on right now?
Honestly, I've been watching Charmed recently. Have you ever watched Charmed, Jessica?
I have not. I know you and others are a fan. I've never seen it. I know it's like about witches, but that's all I know.
It's very much like Shannon Doherty, Alyssa Milano type of haircut.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, I hate it. I hate it so much. Why would they do that? She was hot.
I think this is the best it looks in the episode, which is saying something. I'm gonna get another picture and show you what it looked like the very first time it was shown on screen.
Why?
Because it's just really bad.
Why?
Doesn't it look like a wig?
It does. Why? Why did they do this? Why?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh my
So anyway, that
God.
was, I thought, the biggest news for you personally. Was
Yeah.
Cordelia got a
Yeah.
haircut. And it's talked about in the episode because she's had it for 10 days and Wesley and Angel don't notice it.
Oh
Which
my God.
is
That's kind of like
unhinged.
me and my house because, well, honestly, like
You don't get such a drastic hair change though.
I go to the hair salon. I got my hair dyed. It basically looks the same, and I'm
Yeah.
$250 poorer. But I actually have decided that I'm not touching it for a while. I'm Yeah, I'm not going like dark, but I don't think I'm going to bleach it for a little bit.
Okay.
So that's my news, my new news.
Your hair news.
Yeah.
So elsewhere in the episode, basically what happens is Angel and Gunn have a whole situation where Gunn's cousin Lester is supposed to be a driver for like this demon robbery. And there's this like guy who's a vampire who is named Jadon. And he's this like rat pack kind of a guy. And he's like the head honcho, right? Angel, one of the funniest scenes of the episode is when Angel finds this guy and pretends to be a big fan. He's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Jadon." And he like acts all like, excited to see him, whatever. Then he dusts the guy, he stakes him and then pretends to be him. So for the rest of the episode, Angel talks like, "Hey, you guys." Like it's hysterical.
We do love that. Yeah.
We do. So anyway, so he's in on it. He's pretending to be Jadon. Meanwhile, Gunn pretends to be Lester, who's going to be the driver in this situation. Well, the thing, and meanwhile, Cordy and Wesley are very excited because they're like, Angel's been so depressed since the whole Darla thing. Like, he needs to get out. He needs to work. He needs to like get back into normal life. Well, the problem is that this gig that they're like undercover in is going to like get this shroud of ramen. And no, it's not the soup. It is some sort of like shroud, like a scarf sort of a thing that makes people lose their minds. And so they're like, uh-oh, this is not good. So then when they get there, the glass on the like tomb thingy breaks. So it starts to like infect the whole group and they start to like turn on each other. And then Angel start to like get all angelous, and of course, who shows up but motherfucking Kate, because she got to poke her nose in everybody's business literally all the time. And while there, she like pulls a gun on Angel. He knocks her gun out of the way and he bites her neck. And we're left thinking he like is killing her, because then Wesley comes upon her body like on the ground, and then other cops come in and they're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Blah, 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 blah. But then at the very end of the episode, and Angel eventually, like, it turns out that he's able to keep enough of like a normal mind. He ends up burning the shroud, and the cops arrest Wesley because they find her with the body. She comes in and she's like, no, he's fine. He didn't do anything. And it turns out that like Angel bit her to protect her from the other demons. And he's like, and so after he bites her, he's like, pretend you're like dead. And he like drops her to the ground. She pretends she's dead, but she still has this like big bite mark on her neck. And then we end the episode with Wesley basically saying to Cordelia, "Now I'm nervous because he hasn't tasted human blood in a really long time. And now he's tasted Kate's blood. And when we go back to Angel, he's like thinking about biting Kate." And now I'm annoyed because that means we're going to get more Kate on the show.
It wasn't that long ago that he bit Buffy and drained like nearly all of her blood.
Right. And here's the thing. It was Buffy. Like, is this going to be like a romantic connection? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what's the situation?
Oh, gosh.
I know. I'm upset too because I don't want to see Kate on my screen again.
Yeah.
So I really thought the most notable thing was Cordy's haircut. Overall, the episode was like not that great. I was like, it's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. Like, it really wasn't that exciting. Sometimes I feel like they don't handle the fact that Gunn is like the only Black character on the show very well.
What do you mean? Like, what do you want them to do?
It just felt like they were playing into like gang stereotypes almost with like him and his cousin. Okay. Again, I'm not one to speak on that really, like being a white woman, but like it kind of gave the icky vibes a little bit to me.
Well, it's just like 90s, early 2000s, like stereotypical.
exactly.
Stereotypical
That's how it felt.
stuff.
But yeah, that was the episode. It was fine. Most notably, Cordy got a haircut. It looks really bad. We're
So
all
where
upset.
does the ramen come in?
It's the shroud of ramen. Like he's like a person.
Ramen's a name?
Yeah, Rahmon.
Oh, so it really has nothing to do with the soup at all.
Absolutely nothing to do with the soup.
Man.
Yep.
That was a missed opportunity, man.
I mean,
You know?
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I like ramen.
Who doesn't?
Some
great.
people might not. We have ramen in our house now. I bought some.
There you go. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Would you like to know what next week's episodes are titled?
Yeah.
So we have season 5, episode 9 of Buffy, Listening to Fear.
Mm.
And then season 2, episode 9 of Angel, The Trial. And apparently this is one you have to watch.
Oh,
You have homework
yay.
this week.
Okay. I'll
The
watch
Trial.
I will
So
watch
I don't know.
it.
We'll see. Listening to Fear and The Trial. The Trial is interesting. But
Is
yeah,
it
no
like
Darla
drama?
this Angel episode.
Yeah,
so maybe
where's Darla?
Well, Kate was looking for Darla. That was the whole thing. Was she was like, "Where's Darla?" Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Kate, mind your fucking business, all right? Like, please get away from me. She's so annoying. At one point, Angel did call her out, and he's like, "She's just upset that her daddy's dead or something."
Oh no,
It was like,
that's
but
pretty
the
insensitive.
way he said it was really funny. It was like she has such a hard on for vampires because that's what like killed her dad or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny the way he said it though. But yeah, that'll be next week is Listening to Fear and The Trial. Anything else, Sarah? Anything else you want to tell the people? I don't know. Anything
In
else?
True Blood, does any blood type taste better than other blood types? Was that a thing?
Yes, in True Blood, like because they've made the product called True Blood, which is supposed to like allow vampires to not have to drink human blood. It's like made. It's like like vegan sort. You know what I mean? Like it's like a fake blood. They put it in bottles and there's like, oh, do you want O negative? Do you want A positive? Like people have preferences.
Flavors.
Yeah, people have preferences. The
Do you
vampires
know
have
your blood
preferences.
type?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. You can tell me off camera.
Okay. Do you know your blood type?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I donated blood a lot when I was like when I worked in an office that like had the American Red Cross come in often. I would donate. So I knew mine that way, I think.
They started rejecting me because I kept fainting.
I mean, that's probably a good thing. I always was on the cusp of not having high enough iron to
I think that
donate.
was my problem.
Yeah. I wouldn't faint, but they would like test me and I would be like just on the cusp of being able to. And then but now I've been eating a lot of spinach lately. So hopefully that's helping. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, well, we'll be back next week with season 5, episode 9 of Buffy. So until then, everyone, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.